by Jeannie herself. Let's get into this thing. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Because this is what started all the controversy. This is what started all the controversy. So let's go ahead and kick it off. You guys be nice, be polite, keep the trolling down because this is going to get heated.
So I want to talk about this, you guys. USA Today recently reported that President Trump's nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett, has close ties to a Christian religious group called People of Praise, who reportedly teach that it's a wife's job to submit to the will of her husband, as the Bible teaches. So far, Barrett has declined to publicly...
Now, before she even said anything, all this engaged woman said was that President Trump's nominee thinks that it's a wife's job to submit to her husband. Like 80+% of black women who claim to be Christians purport to be Christians. And she didn't even get out her mouth good before it started. Shout out to Ike.
Discuss her affiliation with People of Praise. I did not even know this existed. But this week, Matthew Cochran of the Federalist defended this viewpoint, arguing...
Look at this. Look at Lonnie Love's face. Unmarried. Never married. Lonnie Love. Unmarried. Never married. Lonnie Love. Remember what I said? All the brothers are asking for is fit. Lonnie Love ain't been fit for a long time. Cooperative. Knock it out. She does have the single part, though. And then right down over here, we have none other than another washed up B-list actress who thinks she's got her opinion matters for something. You know, before you saw her on the Steve Harvey show, she was throwing rose petals at Prince Akeem, or what was Eddie Murphy's character? She was one of them Zamunda rose throwing women. That's who she was. That's her. Zamunda rose thrower. Look at her with this thing stuck on top of her head. You know that ain't her hair. It's stuck on top of her head. Now let's see. Unfit, weave. Fit, weave. You can't get rid of the weave. I'm sorry. But as we keep on going, here's what it got down to.
Equality in marriage only breeds resentment. And that just because a woman is submissive to her man doesn't mean it will hold her back in life, highlighting Amy's potential new job as evidence of that. So ladies, this view... I'm sorry, I'm already thinking about my...
See, she can't even get it out because she know these women are going to lose their mind. She know they're going to lose their mind. Why is the subject of submission? See, before you can get submission, you need cooperation. Why do unmarried women like Lonnie Love and Garcelle Bouvet think that they have something to tell you women? Not unmarried. I need you to take a look at their ring finger, and it's as dry as French toast.
Do you view this as ridiculous?
What we had?
Right. Do you guys feel as women?
This is crazy.
This tension coming up when you hear this.
Submission.
Garcelle, what? It's that.
When
word.
I think of submission, I think maybe back in the 50s, in the 40s. But I think what is submissive in the 2020? What is submissive? I think we have to define that. And I think for me, it would never work, right? But I think.
Stop right there. Always wanting to redefine something. And for me in 2020, it would never work. That's right. That's why you're going to die alone. This is why you are going to die alone. And good for you. You're going to die alone. So go ahead and you know what you need to do. Buy that dog. You're going to die alone. And these women are proud to be dying alone. So I have no sympathy. People are like, why are you so rude? Why do you say some of these things? Because these women don't care. They know exactly what's coming towards them. And they are not only do they know it, they're proud. So, hey, let them have it. Again, Fanny, you ain't been nobody since the 90s. Where'd they even dig you up at? Talking about it would not work. Who wants to marry you in the first place?
It really is up to the couple. I think you have to decide what is submissive. Is it cooking everything he wants? Is it having his, bath ready when he comes home? Like, what is it? I think that has to be really redefined, but I'm not down for that. You won't get me to be submissive. There are things that I'll give and take in a relationship, but to be completely submissive.
That's compromise.
Like even the word obey when you're getting married in a marriage vow, you say obey, but
notice that everything she said, notice that the things they say when it comes to submissive are automatically negative and conflated. What does it mean to actually have to prepare a meal for your man every day? Well, you got to eat 2 or 3 times a day. Understand, these are the same women who would talk about they wanted children, but you got no problem. Who gonna cook for the kids? See, when I first started getting hip to this, woman is my age. And when I first started getting hip to this was in the late 80s on a college campus. And we used to have these relationship seminars. And we heard these women like her standing up all the time talking about how they ain't going to submit to no man and do this and don't do that. And they want this modern 50-50 relationship. And I remember standing up in 1989 and saying, got a question. Okay, in this modern 50-50 power couple relationship, do you ladies want children? And across the board, yes, 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 yes. I asked one question, like I always do, and shut the whole piece down. Well, if you ain't gonna cook for them, who is? Cricket ass quiet. Because all they had ever associated cooking with is subordinate to a man, like you gotta cook over a camp, like you gotta go chop wood and make a campfire and cook for a man on a pot that you made out of metal you've smelted yourself. Then you got to crawl across broken glass and give it to your Lord and Savior in a submissive position. This is the result of baby boomers and single mothers. My mother's generation birthed this. And this is what so many men my age have rejected. Think about, this is what it is at 50. Can you imagine what she was like at 20? If Vivica Fox and all them other cocktails and queens and Lonnie Loves are still like this at 50, you can only imagine what some of the brothers were saying back then. And here is the problem. These women have no idea what working with a man looks like.
Are people really doing that these days? It's like, I respect you and I will honor you, but I think the obey and submissiveness is out for me.
I think it's so weird when people try to use the Bible for these sorts of things. I think that gets really weird. Obviously, the Bible was written in a different time, a completely different... Literally, there's parts in the Bible that literally say that you should stone somebody if they eat shrimp in Leviticus.
Conversation over. Anytime you hear a fool say something like that, say check, please. You're dealing with somebody who is in malafide, bad faith argument. She is not operating in good faith. You want to go to talk about shrimp and stoning people. I don't even want to talk to you anymore because you're not trying to be reasonable. Think about this. Now, this woman is supposed to be married. But that's the best you could do? The best you could do. Now, understand, all that men are asking today is for cooperation. And the men you say you want, this is why these women end up as single mothers or with beta males. Because driven, competitive, successful, productive men, we're not going to negotiate this with you. I'm not going to go back and forth with you because I only deal with a certain caliber of woman. Guys like myself only deal with a certain caliber of woman. And dudes like myself got plenty of women trying to get around us. And those women have their fair share of men trying to get around them. It is a choice for these two to be together. Now, what you have are some uncompetitive women trying to make the best choice out of poor choices, because off the rip, who would want to get with Garcelle Beauvais or Lonnie Love? I mean, given the alternative of the two, Garcelle is more visually appealing, but her attitude is just as stank.
We have to recognize
or not color
what that
your
means
hair.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally really extreme things that are said. I think God also gives us wisdom, and I think that there are also other parts of the Bible that recognize how important and how essential a woman is to the world and to a marriage, and it speaks on equality. Like for me, I just feel like the concept of being me submissive to my husband, but what is he not submissive to me as well? I think for me, I think that's what give and take in a relationship is about. It's about compromise and.
Feel sorry for you, bruh. Feel sorry for you, bruh. Your woman just got on camera and said, hey, the Bible says we're equals. And you submit to me and I submit to my... all out of context. Can you imagine what it would be like if that dude going into the barbershop after this bit aired? You basically just took your husband's gonads and put them in your purse. Because anytime he goes around anybody else, I'm like, damn, son, that's what you married to? And don't let her be the breadwinner, which my gut says she probably is. I don't know. But, all bad. This is why I say do what you want, guys. Do that 50-50 stuff if you want to. Formula for this.
Stop smiling when you see that picture, Jeannie.
No, it's so
was
cute.
Why?
But I feel
I love it.
like this just takes us backwards, you guys. As women, we fought so hard to be equal and viewed equal in our relationships, in our workplaces, and the concept of being submissive has a negative connotation to it. I think when they're talking about her being a boss and obviously having this incredible position that she may be taking, guys, there are people who are bosses in their workplace and then they want to come home and let their husband lead. That again is their choice. That is not them being submissive.
Right.
That is them
That's what I'm
choosing.
talking about. It's about the
that's what they
couple's
want.
decision.
It's a difference.
Right.
That's right.
No, you know what the thing is that what works for a couple works for a couple. I can't.
Shut the fuck up, Lonnie Love. I've been wanting to say that for a minute. Shut up. I and men like myself absolutely don't care what your swole up ass has to say about anything. You, in my opinion, you and women that have your attitude are enemies to women, black women in particular. You are my enemy when it comes to dealing with black women. And I'm going to expound on that more later. I don't care who you're dating right now. You're supposed to be happy. But yet you still find a way to get your big swole ass up here and still have an attitude problem about something. Seek help and shut up.
That's it.
I can't judge them because that works for them. The problem that
That's
I
right.
have with this whole submission talk is that people will bring it over into real life. There's no way that women,
Politics.
I feel women in this country can't have real equality.
This woman is about to make the point of you can have that submission stuff at home, but when I'm in the world, treat me as an equal. Cool. No protection. No door open. No nothing. You are a genderless being. That means you got to get it out of the mud just like I do. Got no problem with that. That means at work and anywhere I don't see gender. Guarantee you'll break and women like you will break long before men like us will. Fine. 100% fine with that. Don't cry. Don't say shit. Don't ask for nothing. Don't ask for any girl push-ups in the world. You need to get it out of the mud and come stand up, square up, and compete with men. Just because you weigh like a heavyweight don't mean you can play like a heavyweight.
If you have this same old-fashioned, outdated type of thinking.
Right.
Now, in a marriage,
Right.
that's fine, but if he thinks like that
Not-
for a woman and she thinks like that for herself, then when they go outside, they're trying to spread it. And that's what you see right now. So now you're getting articles about, oh, they should be, women should be submissive. So now you have women that necessarily aren't in relationships questioning, well, should I be?
She said, you got women out here submitting at home in a happy cooperative relationship with their man, and they out here trying to spread that in the world like it's a disease. Did you hear what she said? They're out here trying to spread it. Like, if you want to be submissive in your house, but in the real world we compete, fine. I can't wait to hear about the time you get booped, something happens. Oh, I don't want to wish nothing bad, but ladies, I don't think you want the world Lonnie's talking about, because that means you're going to need to be 51% of the military, 51% of the construction workers, 51% of the police force, the firefighters, ditch diggers, trash men, all the crappy jobs. We're going to need y'all to be 51% of all of it. And we're going to need it to be done at the minimum level of the worst man. We're going to need you to be 51% of all that. 51% of the homeless population, all that. I need you to be my equal, Lonnie Love. Guarantee if you had to get out here and pay like your weight, that weight would drop off of you because you couldn't make it out here. So you sitting up here in there, air conditioning that man have made, building that a man has made, all this stuff that men have made, and then gonna act like butter won't melt in your mouth. Shut the French toast up. Tired of hearing you.
Way. Should I do that?
Right.
And that's not true equality for women. So that's the reason why I have a problem with it. What you do in your relationship, that's on you. But don't let it go out to the outside. That's what I'm saying.
But even that is still a choice. That doesn't mean that you're being submissive because you're being forced to be submissive. That doesn't mean you're being submissive because that is what is required of you as a woman. That is a choice.
Yes,
right. And because of that, I want to give you guys the actual definition of.
And thank you, Jenny Ma, for listening to all that and coming back and G'ing up. Because I know people in the chat room are going crazy. You guys can have your opinion, keep it respectful. But here's the thing. I need you guys to get the likes up. And we got 3,700 people in here. And we're going to need these 3,900 people because we're going to open the call lines. Because I want to ask a question. You may not like the word submission, ladies, but do you like dying alone? You may not like the word submission. Do you like the word single? Because men, especially competitive men, successful men, high value men, are not going to marry you. They are not going to marry you. They will marry Jenny Mai. They'll marry Becky, Mylene, and Marisol, but they will not marry you. They will marry Jenny Mai, Becky, Anu, and Marisol, and women who think like her. They won't marry you. So that means you will die alone. Oh, you don't think you'll die alone? Oh, yeah, that's right. You can date out and deal out. That's right. But when is Lonnie Love's wedding? Yeah, she ain't got one.
Submit. And then I want to explain how I see this. So the actual definition of submit is to accept or yield to a superior force or to the authority or will of another person. So I'm going to say right here that I, Jeannie Mai, going into my marriage, I want to submit to my man.
Big ups to Jenny Mai for coming back and saying, yeah, fuck what you're talking about. Jenny Mai got a man at home, and I am going on the record saying straight up in front of all this BS, I want to submit. See, Jenny Mai is about to tell you that she is a strong woman. But one of the things that strong women, actually truly strong women, learn from their mistakes. It doesn't take... You're not strong if you don't learn from your mistake. You're just a stubborn, pig-headed fool. Strong and stubborn are two different things. Get back into it. Tell
Let me
him, Jeannie.
explain. When I hear this
Wow.
definition, like you just said, Adrian, submitting has a negative connotation. It means that you are less important, you are lower than that person that you're submitting to. It usually can be like, referenced as somebody who works lower than you, and that's not what I'm referring to here.
Yeah,
but what
that's
I
not
really
cool.
learned in my life for my definition of marriage, I'm not saying what I want works for everybody. I'm saying for me, I'm a very dominant woman. I own my business. I lead my teams. I played my own manager, my own publicist, my own lawyer when I didn't have money to have those people. So I make the decisions in my life. When I come home, I like the idea that my man leads us.
Say something. Ain't that the modern woman's dream? I can get out here and lead, bring home the bacon fried up in the pan. But when I get home, I have picked a man that I am comfortable submitting to him and letting him lead. See, what these other women on the panel have a problem with is they either do not, but I don't think they can. I don't think women like Lonnie Love can get a man on Jeezy's level. And you guys know I'm not a big high value man as an entertainer or an athlete, but for this one, we'll make an exception. Lonnie Love can't get a man on that level. She fails the fitness component. Lonnie Love can't get a man on that level. She fails the cooperativeness component. So she has to get what she can get. And then go act like there's a problem with men. No, there's a problem with you, a diet, and a gym. You and some therapy. Old Fancy sitting up there. Wow. You're going to say that, Jenny? Yeah, do you not see that ring is as big as her middle finger? And y'all are sitting up there as two unmarried, unengaged women not learning a damn thing. You aren't strong, you're stubborn.
Doesn't mean that in this case, Jay makes all the decisions for us. That doesn't mean that when he says, how are we spending our money or where are we moving, that I just say, yes, sir, or yes, your honor. Like, it's not that. It's you know what? I think that we would do best here. I want to do this. And he takes the decision. He formulates it with our overall vision and he leads us. And I like to submit to that. I don't want to lead in our household and in our marriage. I want him to lead, and I have all the essence of what I bring as a wife to make that decision, but that I love that my husband will be the man that leads. I like that structure in a marriage, and I look forward to that because, girls, it's tiring being the boss of me. It's tiring leading all the time in my life.
Look at Lonnie. She just sitting up there like, Look at her. She just like, I have never had anything close to that. Well, drop about half your weight. Get you some therapy, and maybe you could have. She said it. I look forward to it. See, what you have is battling cultures. And these modern women here are the last gasp of a dysfunctional sexual politic. It doesn't work. Because if these modern women who are so empowered, why are you so unhappy? Not happy at all. And Jenny's saying, look, say what you want to, but I'm going to talk this shit on the real today. Because I know once I take this microphone off, I'm with my husband, and we going on to build our empire. We're going to get our Kanye and Kim on. So you can say what you want to. Y'all can beat me up over here, but I got a man that's going to rub my shoulders and do when I get off of here, first we going to turn the... Jeezy over there talking about, first we gonna run the bath, then I'm gonna get that ass. And Lonnie just sitting over there.
time.
go
It's
home.
tired
I
to be
look
the boss
forward to that.
all the
tired.
time.
Yeah.
No,
I like
yes,
that. I like that you
Adrian.
said that.
I don't like labels. I don't
I
like
agree.
labels. I don't like.
Yeah,
I
labels
don't.
is
And
good.
and
Yeah, I
and
agree.
I just hope that the thing is that, like I said, what people do in their relationship is fine, but I don't want to be taken outside. And sometimes men tend to feel like, well, this is how a woman is supposed to act.
Well, then tell you what, since you don't like labels and you don't like all that, you go start your own company, your own organization, run by you and all the women in your own city, your own town, your own homes, everything built by women, and go do that. Make Amazonia. But the nerve of you to sit around talking about what you don't like this and you don't like that. Keep that feminism, keep that submission shit over there because we're evolved over here and we're modern women. I hope you get everything that you say you want coming to you. Because you ain't done jack crap. You are a Z-less celebrity at best. Acting like you out here making $20 million a picture. This is why I've been asking these questions. Do these women have the options they think they have? These women are horrible at recognizing their true value. And over and over again, Loni Love is a poster child for most of the things that plague so many of our sisters today. Thinking that she has options that she can't get. The best she could get was a washed up dude. And sit up here talking about, I don't like labels. So, I mean, you listen to this woman. Keep that in your house, but don't let it leak out into the world. The world was built by submissive men and submissive women and strong men. That's the reason you even have anything. The reason your ass can even sit up there with the gall and nerve you have is because a man built the world, not you. You damn sure didn't fly there on Soul Plane. Nerve of you.
And if I'm working with you as a person on the outside, don't treat me like whatever your marriage is. I don't want that. I am my
I
own
get
person.
that.
Treat
I
me
get
like
that.
an equal. That's the only problem I
get
have
that.
with that. What you do in your marriage
I
is
hear you, Loni.
But outside,
Yes.
don't treat me like I'm your wife, because I'm not.
No,
But I want to.
Black women like Loni Love have an incredible narcissism. They can turn anything and make it about them. Jeannie Mai was talking about Supreme Court Justice nominee and her stance on women submitting to husbands in marriage. And somehow this woman has turned it around and made it about her and how married men in the world with submissive wives might possibly treat her like you're their submissive wife in the workplace. Trust, Loni Love, ain't nobody looking to try to treat you like anyone close to their wife. You got a lot of nerve, lady.
Say this.
Yeah,
I want to
no,
say
I
this to
totally
all my
get that.
sisters out there. I want to say this to all my sisters out there that feel me when I say that you can be dominant or you are the leader in your life and you make all the decisions. When you are coupled with a man, men inherently, if you got a good man, want to lead and want to protect you.
Say that again. When you are with a man, if you got a good man, men inherently want to lead and want to protect you. Have you seen the men that these women get? Loni and Garcelle. Have you seen the men that they get? Any one of y'all want to be, any one of you ladies want to risk your safety standing next to one of them? Any one of them you want to say, okay, honey, that guy just hit on me at the bar. You gonna handle it. You want the dude with the hat that was just on earlier, and you want to risk your safety? Right. She about to hurt their feelings.
Tell you from experience, if you dominate so much that you actually kind of take over in your own household, that you don't give him
Yeah.
room
Fair use.
to feel like a man, fill in the blank however you want. You strip him of being able to do what it is he does well, and it changes the dynamic of your
That's not true,
relationship
Jeannie.
in ways that
Jeannie,
you may not
that's
have
not
expected.
Loni Love, shut up. You ain't never had who How do you know? Are you trying to put your unemployed, out of work boyfriend on the level of productivity of the rapper Jeezy? This woman is actually going to sit here and try to. That's not true. That's not true. Show of hands by ladies in the chat room. What women in the chat room think that Lonnie Love has or has had more productive, competitive, higher value, or higher ranking men than Jeannie Mai has? If you think Lonnie Love has had better men in her personal life than Jeannie Mai, put a 1 in the chat room, ladies. If you think Lonnie Love has not had better men than Jeannie Mai, put a 2 in the chat room. Ladies.
I don't know about
Not
that,
in my-
Jeannie. I don't know about
I
that.
don't think that's true
I
for
don't know.
everyone. I don't think that's true for everyone.
I'm saying it was true from, I'm talking about my own experience. In my
Yeah.
experience,
Okay.
I need to there are areas where a man has to be able to have room to lead. And if you try to take over on everything, he's like, where am I, what areas are we leaning on me to just be who I want to be in this relationship?
That's not my experience, and my experience has always been one of partnership and of equality. And
Yeah.
I like for my man to
That's what I'm
come and
saying.
ask me my opinion.
Wasn't this woman just crying on this stuff last year? Cause she had been so alone for so long and ain't had no man. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't watch this show, but I think I remember when she got with the out of work painter. It was a big deal because now she has somebody to come home to when she's been out traveling and he's home. Well, of course he's home. He ain't got no job. But wasn't she like single for a long time? And now all of a sudden you got these men who are partners and equals and 50. What the French toast? Really? You do know we see you, right? And again, this is the delusion. So many women make up stuff in their mind and live in a fantasy to where they are the star. She act like she won an Academy Award for Soul Plane. Fantasy.
And if we have an issue, we work it out, and we're compatible.
I'm gonna just let that hang out there for a minute. Oh yeah, let that hang out there for a minute. That is one terrible fitting suit. Terrible. That button is screaming, hold me, sweet Jesus. That's supposed to be a 2 and 3 fold. See, that button is supposed to actually be under here. You're not supposed to see it. It's not supposed to be like one of the old 3-button suits from the 90s, but, bottom shelf Brad over here, she had to, get him out the homeless shelter. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. I don't even need to say nothing about Miss Lonnie Love. I'm just looking at him. I don't even need to address her. What woman in any event or any place that she goes is saying, ooh, I can't wait till she go to the bathroom so I can go holler at her man? Who is trying to take him from her? See, competitive men, high value men, ladies, you're competing for the men around them. See, tonight I'm going to pop some collars. Tonight I'm going to talk some shit. Because guys that are out here getting it done, men like that have options. 30 to 70 years old. Myself, say for myself. You got options. I've never looked at this person next to her as somebody who is my competition. And black men, especially, don't look at her as anything other than a homegirl. Nowhere close. Lonnie has women like her, no shot. No shot. You can't even be a side. You can't even give it away to high value men, competitive men, successful men. You can't give it away. None.
And that's what I love about my relationship with James, is that it's totally 50%. I mean, and I just hate the label of equality, but I feel like I have a voice. I feel like I can trust him. He can trust me. And it's not this way here. Like, he's up here and I gotta, yes.
Right.
I just work so hard in my life that I trust him and I feel it. That's all. But everybody's got their own thing.
Why don't you like the word equal? Because isn't that equal? Okay.
Well, you know what? I love what you're saying, Jeannie, but I think...
Notice how she wouldn't. Why don't you like the word equal? Isn't it equal? You know, like 2 + 2 is 4, but we don't like it calling what it is, because notice how anytime she talks about a man leading, it's always her being in. Here come Garcelle Beauvais with this bull crap. Well, I love what you're saying, Jeannie, but let me tell you, as a never married baby mama, let me tell you why you're all wrong. I don't know if she's been married before. I don't think she has, but I do believe she's a baby mama. The nerve of these women. And Jeezy probably sitting back like, you know them, they hate you. You know they can't stand you because you got a strong brother who's successful on his own. You know they can't stand you. They probably have such a good time watching the reruns and watching all the fallout from this, because these women can't even help themselves. Again, strong women learn from their mistakes and do better. Not continue, double and triple down. That's not strength, that's just stubborn.
So you can be the boss outside and want to come in and feel girly and let him lead. Mm-hmm. But I also think what Lonnie is saying about, just feeling like no one's really above each other, that he will check in with her, she will check in with him. And I think that makes you feel like you're in charge of your life too. You each have strengths and weaknesses,
and you lean on each other.
Right.
You each have strengths and you each have weaknesses, and you lean on each other.
Yes, but
Shut up. Just shut up. I mean, sometimes you just need to shut up. Does the CEO check in with the CFO? Does the vice president, does the president check in with the vice president? You guys want freaking anarchy is what you want. One day I'm going to do a breakdown on Bear Grylls Survivor Island Season 2, where they have the men on one island and the women on another, and show you that it doesn't matter. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or other. United States, anywhere around the world, you put men and women in a group on an island and make them have to survive, and women lean towards this. They don't like the decision. They don't. Everybody, let's make a decision as a collective, and they will do that to their detriment. Strong women know they need men to lead. I'm gonna say it again. It takes strength to cooperate. It takes strength to submit. I got a policy that I don't beef with anybody. You think that's a weak stance? It's one of the strongest stances you can take. It don't take any strength to fight and get your feelings all in the uproar and be triggered all the time. It takes strength to say, hey, I'm going to trust that you will get it done, and I'm going to lay back and do what makes me, me. And I'm going to let you be you, the man, and the woman's going to be her. No, instead, you trying to get all in your masculine, and even the most masculine woman is a piss poor excuse for a man. Fuck out of here.
Describing, like, I grew up in a household. My mom has a very strong force, and she took over a lot of decisions in the household, to the point that my dad, unless it was always going to be a fight, he was like, you know what? Go ahead. Whatever you want to decide, go ahead.
And that is where so many black men are. They have seen, from baby boomers to Generation X to millennials to zennials, men just getting worn down to where they're just like, forget it. Ladies, let me tell you something. You get a man to that point, it's like The Walking Dead. You don't have a man anymore. He's just quit. Because men don't want the drama. What have you won? So Jenny's basically trying to say, ladies, I've got it. I can do it. I did this before. I saw it before. And none of these women are listening. And I've heard other people on other talk shows, well, she messed up when she said sister, and she's a Asian woman, and black women have a different kind of mindset up. We move a different way, and you have to talk to black women in a certain kind of way. No, you don't. I don't know you don't, Jenny Mai, and neither does the world. Black women, nobody needs to talk to you a certain kind of way. You need to grow up. That's what the problem is already. Everybody is dancing around, not telling you the truth. You need to grow up. 2 + 2 is 4. I don't need to sit back and say, well, if you take 2 and then you go get 2 more, it might be 4. No, 2 + 2 is 4. Funk your feelings. It's time to grow up. You're supposed to be so strong, educated, and everything else, and people got to tiptoe around you. No.
It's going to do me, and that causes a wedge. And I can have that tendency. I'm just saying, for me, I can have that tendency to follow like my mom because it's what I grew up in, and I saw it. And I saw in my living space, I would all of a sudden just wake up and go and make decisions without asking and checking in. So I am the fault that can cause the inequality because I am pulling in my habits from my old household to how I run my business today. And that is not okay. And I'm careful and aware of that today. So I'm just telling that to anybody else who didn't tell me that when I could have learned that before.
My mother did it. It didn't work. I did it. It didn't work. I have this in me. So I check myself to make sure I don't bring in my old habits, baggage from my old marriage that didn't work into my new situation. Thank you, strong woman, for learning from your mistakes. And you sit up here looking at these other women like, no, he's supposed to stand in it with you like Iyanla Vanzant says. No, she took them to task on this thing. And not once has one of them yielded and say, you know what? That makes sense. At best they'll say, whatever, I do what I want. That works for you. Keep that shit over there though. But the difference is Jenny Mai is marrying a multimillionaire. Jenny Mai is marrying a man who is successful. Because whether you're like rap or not, you